we'll be doing help us really trigger in on that craving. And if you, oh, I can hear myself. And if you want, let us know the severity of it. You know, is it like a 3, or are you constantly going after, you know, the pumpkin spice latte every day from Starbucks, and that's your biggest craving, and you were like, oh, I wish this didn't have a power over me. And I mean, eating these treats, you know, there's nothing wrong with them. You know, in your life that you have those special little treats that you eat once in a while, and you just need one and you're totally fine. But then you know that there's those, you know, maybe it's the ice cream in the freezer that just has this power over you. And you're like, if only I could gain control over this, my life would be better. And if you're feeling any negative feelings towards food, that's where we want to start with.
Yeah, so thank you. I seem to always have some little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm trying to get them under control. So yeah, thanks for your patience. Thanks. This is why I love doing it with Amber, because number one, she's just so terrific, but number two, she can just sort of jump in there and take over when I am having my technical issues. So for those of you that are joining us, this is episode number 12. So we've been doing this for a couple of months now and really enjoying it. I love working with Amber. And so I know she had talked about if you want to delete a food craving, and it really works in such an interesting way. You know, it just sort of, like Amber said, it releases that power that that food has over you. And so some of your go-to foods that you would normally have, you know, stashed in your purse or in your car or under your bed, or you've got to have it next to your seat when you're watching TV, it's just not that interesting to you anymore. So it's a really great way to give up the craving. So I did have something interesting happen to me though. I had you know, given up several foods, which was fine, wasn't missing them. And then I wound up getting a call from somebody that I'm close to, and they had to tell me their tale of woe and their troubles. And, you know, I really couldn't do anything for them other than just listen to them and feel bad for them. And any of the offers that I had for help, they were like, yeah, no, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And it's like, well, okay, you're going to kind of continue to wallow in your problem there, but okay. And I realized that shortly after the call, I was like reaching for snacks, and I'm like, I don't think I'm really that hungry, but it's like, you know, where are the potato chips? Where's the candy? Where's, you know, just give me something more to eat. And I really had to stop myself and go, well, wait a minute, what happened to me? I was doing so well. And then the light bulb went on, and it's like, I realized, I bet I absorbed something in that phone conversation with that person. So sure enough, checked it out, and yep, I had absorbed a couple of emotions from them, needed to release them, and wound up getting back on track. So it's amazing how powerful the emotion code is for people. Yet, you know, just like exercising, you can't just go to the gym once and say, well, you know, I've lifted barbells today, I'm strong. You need to continue to do it. And so sometimes we have these things that come at us, these emotions that, you know, whether they're our own or in my case, I absorbed something from this person. Sometimes they can come back to haunt us a little bit. Oh, that's a nice October tie-in, isn't it? Haunting.
You're so funny. So you might be wondering, you know, what is going on here? Who are these girls and what are they doing? Well, we're both emotion code practitioners, and we learned the technique from Dr. Bradley Nelson, who was, I mean, he's still alive, but he no longer practices, is a holistic chiropractor. And we both read the book, and we both took the training on how to identify. So first we use muscle testing, which is kinesiology, to connect to your energy. We're all connected. So if you think of a cell phone, or if you think of, you know, how you're watching us on this video, we're all connected, and we're all made up of energy. We've all heard about it, you know, quantum physics. And so we connect to your energy, and using techniques such as muscle testing, we can identify the emotion that you have trapped sometime throughout your life that is contributing to your food cravings, the pain within your body. It could be abundance blockage. It could be, there's so many different things that emotions are blocking because we're emotional beings and we feel emotions every single second. So we may not be on a conscious level that we're feeling them, but somewhere in our body, we're feeling these emotions and they get released from the different organs. So for example, your liver releases bitterness and anger. And so if you're feeling those, it releases those and then it's got to go somewhere. So we need to feel angry. We need to feel those feelings in order to go through them and to process them. Otherwise, they get trapped within our energy field and then start causing problems. So we welcome you to our Facebook Live. Here today we're doing cravings. So if you eat because you're bored, if you eat because you're stressed, and then you have shame and guilt afterwards, chances are this is the episode for you. I know that I certainly did, eating chocolate or chips. I would reach for them unconsciously and just start eating them and then be like, why did I do that? I was doing so well not eating those. Why did I do that? And we've all gone through it at least one period of our life. Let's release those. And there usually is a certain specific food that you eat. So it might not be the plain potato chips, but it's the ketchup potato chips that really have you going, that make you go to the store to pick them up. I was talking to my husband last night and he's like, did you clear potato chips from me? And I'm like, could be. I don't remember. He's like, well, I was eating them and they tasted awful. I'm like, then I probably did. He's like, I could even finish the bag. They tasted so awful. And sometimes that happens. I know for me, for some of the foods, they just don't taste the same anymore. They just taste different. I'm like, oh, well, I'm grateful for that because that kind of helps with the urges, right? Who wants to eat something? But then you keep eating it and you know that that's where that addiction is. If you're still eating it and you still have that habit, even though it tastes kind of different or kind of off, let's break that. It's kind of like a tie, and it's an emotional tie to it. There's a frequency, a vibration that is attracting it. So let's break that and let you be free of that specific food.
Yeah. So Amber, I am just checking in our comments. And so I have a couple of visitors. So I'd like to say a big hello to Claudia. Claudia, I'm going to try it. Norambuena Sid is visiting us from Maryland today, and she's volunteering. And then also, and let's see, with Claudia, I see that you would like to give up some late night snacking. Is there a particular food that you are snacking on? And then also Carol Hacklander. She's saying, sure, let's do it. But Carol, I would need to have a food item. So I'll give you guys a minute to add those into the comments.
So again, we would need your permission. And what specific food item that you would like to delete? Would it be, maybe it's the pumpkin spice lattes. I never got into that, but I know a lot of people that do. Maybe it's Oreo cookies or red licorice or those Swedish gummies or whatever it is that you wish could just leave. I mean, Halloween's coming around and that's when all the bags of candy go on sale. And I'm thankful that I can walk through the grocery store and go, I don't need it. I don't need it anymore. And it's completely gone. And there's no guilt. There's no restriction. There's no emotion. It's just, no, I don't need that.
Okay, I'm going to recheck our comments. And so we also have Grace Romero, and she would like to volunteer to get rid of ice cream. Carol is looking for tortilla chips, and Claudia, she said it varies. Sometimes it's potato chips and sometimes it's cookies. How about if we work on one of them? And so Amber, I don't know if you'd like to select one of the people to work on. You've got Carol, Grace, or Claudia, and then I will do the other one.
I'll do Claudia. What was Claudia's?
Claudia is looking for either potato chips or cookies. Maybe I would, so she's not naming a specific brand. So
Claudia, if you
take it
could let
from
us
there.
know, that would be great, and I can start working on you.
Yes, and Carol, I'm going to start with you and your tortilla chips. And so let's see, Amber's already started, so I'm going to just sort of walk through the demonstration with this. I'm going to begin with a little bit of water. And Carol, if you have some water available, if you could drink that, that would be great. All right, so I'm using my muscle testing. So if it goes through, it's a no, and if it gets stopped, then it's a yes. So I'm testing strong this way, and I'm testing weak this way. And when I'm holding my fingers together, I could hold a butterfly wing in this. I'm barely touching my fingers. So all right, so I'm going to ask if I can connect with Carol. And so Carol Hacklander, yes. And so Carol is saying, all right, so Carol is saying that she's liking tortilla chips. And so let's see. So I suppose she is eating tortilla chips with dip, putting tortilla chips in her sandwiches, topping soups and salads and casseroles and things with tortilla chips. So any way that we could eat a tortilla chip. So what's my desire for having tortilla chips at this time? Is it a 10, 9, 8, 7? Okay, I'm getting a strong 10. So Carol, yes, you like your tortilla chips. So I'm wondering if we can release the trapped emotion around these tortilla chips and the desire for them. And I'm definitely getting a yes. And so now let me just ask, is this on the emotion code chart? Is it on the psychotrauma chart? Is it on the emotion code chart? All right. Amber, it looks like you're done.
I haven't started. I was waiting for Claudia, but I've got her answer. She wants to get rid of potato chips. So I'm ready to start. So I'm going
okay.
My name is Claudia.
It's always Grace.
So my conscious mind was just talking about how much I love potato chips. I love the saltiness. I love the crunchiness. I love the
column A.
Oh, I love everything about potato chips, whether they're, whether I'm eating them grabbing them from the store, I'm eating them in my living room, watching TV, at the movies. I love potato chips.
1, 2, 3.
Is there a trapped emotion that we can release that is causing or creating my potato chip habit?
Is it mine? Yeah. Is it my worry? Is it someone else's? Did I absorb it?
So I'm releasing confusion.
Releasing worry. Releasing absorbed worry.
Has those been cleared? Is there any hidden?
Elements of worry. Is it trapped? Worry.
Releasing indecisiveness.
Releasing worry.
Absorbed under 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Did I release the worry? I still crave the tortilla chips.
Releasing absorbed guilt.
Is it in column B? Is it in column A? Is it even? Is it odd? Is it equal to 2? Is it 4? Is it 6? It's column 6. Is it
releasing the vibrational resonance of frustration. So what vibrational resonance is, it's an emotion that is vibrating all the time. So I'm not sure if you can feel the frustration all the time, but it's an emotion that's actually vibrating all the time. And if you think of, tuning forks or a bell, and when they go off, it's vibrating. That's what vibrational resonance is. If you think of people who are angry all the time, they're constantly vibrating at anger, and they probably have a lot of built up anger. And so no matter what happens, they're going to respond to anger because that's what they're feeling.
I still crave the potato. Is there more to do?
Is there any trauma? Is there any prenatal? Is there anything on the trauma energy chart? 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is it 2 over 6? It's 2. Is it 8, 2, 1?
Releasing jealousy.
So releasing anxiety.
Is there any absorbed, inherited, vibrational resonance?
Inherited anxiety.
Heart walls.
Anything.
No. So before today, what was the severity of my wanting potato chips, craving potato chips, gotta have potato chips? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now what is it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10, 7, 6.
So there you go, Claudia. Hopefully that at least helped reduce your cravings for potato chips. If you have any in the house, go ahead and try them. See if they, I personally noticed some things change different. Not everything, but I no longer have the wanting.
Yeah.
Chocolate is still one of those things, right? I'll pick it up out of habits now, but then I start eating it. I'm like, oh, why did I do that? Because it just tastes awful now. And I'm so thankful that I was able to clear chocolate, because my chocolate addiction was pretty bad. And we make excuses for them. Oh, it's that time of the month, or, oh, it's, tax time, or I'm bored, or I had a really hard day at work. Where's that specific food? And we use them as instead of a way of fueling our body, we use them as an excuse. And that becomes a problem. How are you doing over there, my friend?
I am doing great. So Carol, I hope she said, she was telling me that she also eats them just right out of the bag. So any way that she could have them, she would have them. And so Carol, I had to release a couple of emotions. And so you seem to have, that was a strong go-to for you. So I'm hoping if you are feeling anything, or if you have a tortilla chip around you and you can take a bite of it, see what you think. And I guess if you felt anything, also, sometimes people feel a little something, you feel a little tingly, or you feel hot, or you feel cold, or so Carol is saying great. So hopefully that was successful. And then with Grace, Grace is the one that said that she likes ice cream. And I asked if there is a special flavor. I know usually if I want ice cream, I don't want just any ice cream. Lots of times I need to have, Ben and Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie that has been, that's been my very good friend on at the end of a bad day. That that can add a special kind of soothing, when you're feeling blue. But fortunately, I don't eat ice cream so much anymore. So, and it's interesting. So I live in Wisconsin, the dairy state of America, and we have a fast food place. It's called Culver's. They're very good, and they serve custard. It's not ice cream, it's custard, and there is a little bit difference. Actually, custard has a higher fat content, so you get a whole lot of flavor. And so when I was giving up ice cream, I had no desire for ice cream, and I passed a Culver's, and they had their special flavor of the day, and I was like, I wonder how that would be. And so I had my Culver's. I really enjoyed it. But then that was it, So I think sometimes too, when you give up one of these cravings, there's almost like this little test period of, did I really give it up? Or, what's going to happen to me if I eat it? And so sometimes, yeah, you can have it for a while. I know when I was giving up coffee, I went from making it my little mocha pot on the stove to using a French press. And I liked my little lattes both of those ways, and then it just didn't taste good to me any longer, so I wasn't doing that anymore. But I switched to instant coffee and I would make myself this quick little instant coffee, and it's like, well, I don't know. And then all of a sudden one day that just wasn't appealing to me. I would make it, I would drink part of it, and I would leave it sit. And so then I figured out, okay, I might still have one occasionally, once or twice a year, but other than that, I don't feel so driven to go find it.
Well, I'm going to.
All right.
I'm Whitney, so I'm going to clear Whitney's cheesy addiction.
Ooh.
That has. So, I love cheesies. Like that may never go away. We don't keep them in the house, but sometimes you just need to have a little snack. And I've gotten rid of most of my really deep cravings. I really like cheesies. So I'm going to get rid of this one for Whitney. So my name is Whitney. My name is Whitney. My name is Amber. My name is Whitney. So my conscious mind was just talking about how much I love cheesies, those little
Fudge.
orange, yummy goodness. You know, they come in a stick, they come in a ball. Oh, I love cheesies. I love buying them in the store. I love hearing when the bag crinkles. I love the crunchiness. I love everything about cheesies.
Even as a day 2.
Are there any emotions that are causing me to want, desire, need cheesies?
4, 5, 8, 1. Release this.
Releasing shock.
Anxiety.
Is there any hidden? A, B, odd, even, 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3. Releasing
Anxiety. Releasing any hidden anxiety.
Is there any absorbed? Under 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 8, even, 2, 4, 6.
Craving for almond fudge ice cream. 10, 9, 8, 10.
Is there any absorbed?
9, 8.
Or is there any inherited? Inherited is a good one because inherited is you're clearing your ancestral DNA.
Am I going to eat?
So we have an inherited A, odd, even, 2, 1. Inherited anxiety from her mom, her dad. How many generations does it go back? Under 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 generations on her dad's side of anxiety. And if you can think about it, we, get our skin coloring, we get our eye colors, we get our hair colors, we get different things that are passed down through our DNA. Well, trapped emotions are one of them. So if your family has a history of, maybe it's frustration, maybe, you're thinking about, oh, I behave this way just like my parents did, or I picked up this from my parents. So it carries down the line. So this one is anxiety going back 8 generations. So if you think of 20 years to on average to a generation, times that by 8, I mean, that's 160 years back that someone in her paternal line felt anxiety, and it got trapped within before her ancestral line came about, before they were conceived, and it just passed down. So if she was somebody who could see spirits, feel spirits, sense spirits, that entire ancestral line would be in the same room with her, which is pretty amazing. Amazing how having your ancestors in the room with you as we're about to clear this emotion from 8 generations ago. So I'm going to go ahead and clear anxiety.
And releasing an absorbatory.
Jessica's watching. Hi, Jessica. Jessica, do you have any food that you would like to release? If you have a specific food item, I can go ahead and clear a specific food item for you.
Break with grace.
If there's anyone else watching, please say hello and where you're coming from. Is there any vibrational resonance, psychic trauma, prenatal?
Okay, so now I'm going to.
So before today, what was the severity of Whitney's
bitching on potato chips?
Cheesy cravings. Gotta have it, gotta need it, desire it, crave it. What was the severity of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now what is it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's A. Is it even?
So I will check in with Whitney later to see how she's feeling, to see if she's still craving those cheesies. And I look forward to an update from her. Jessica says chocolate. Absolutely. Is there a specific brand or type? Maybe it's Hershey's almond, or I don't know what chocolate bars are in the States. Jersey milk, maybe.
Trauma chart.
Maybe they're all the same as up here in Canada where I am, but if you have one specific kind or brand, let's go ahead and clear that from you.
Even, odd, even, 8, so C1, C2, C4, C6.
So definitely tune in next week because we are going to be clearing procrastination. I believe we're doing procrastination around the house to start with. So if you are one of those people who don't like doing dishes, or you're like me where you can wash the laundry, fold the laundry, put the laundry in a basket, but you cannot get it to the next step, then definitely join us next week because we're going to be clearing procrastination, and procrastination is a big one.
So my Holly, my Sandra. Okay, so I'm going to break in here. So I did work with Grace and her almond fudge ice cream. That does sound pretty tasty. So Grace, hopefully you're not going to be having any desire for almond fudge any longer. And then Carol said she's going out shopping later today, so she's going to have to test herself when she goes down to the tortilla chip aisle. Hopefully she's not going to have any more. And I got a report back from Sandra. So I worked on Sandra last week. So hello, Sandra. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. So she was really good with avoiding potato chips for a day or so. And then all of a sudden she went back to them, and now she's binging on them. And so, sometimes that happens, or sometimes, Sandra, I don't know if you were on earlier, but like when I had my phone call with somebody and I absorbed some emotions, and then sure, I just go right back to my old bad habits. So I worked on you again, Sandra. So hopefully that is, it's going to work and stick this time. So thank you so much for joining us again. That is terrific. And sometimes that happens, sometimes there's just a little bit more of a tweak, or sometimes these emotions come off in layers. And so you can get some of the emotions released, and then all of a sudden something else is going to surface in another day or two. It's almost like they're shy or hiding a little bit. And sometimes when we've had something that we've been holding on to for a very long time, it's really hard to release it. And actually, Amber, when you're talking about the procrastination on the home topics, I'm excited for this one too, because I find that with myself, I can have something that is absolutely insignificant. It can be like a pencil, but maybe my mom gave me the pencil, and my mom has passed away, and the pencil is now broken. It's used. I mean, it's absolutely no good, but it's still the pencil that my mom gave me. So because I've got my feelings for my mother, I'm transferring them to this darn pencil, and all I really need to do is release it. And so sometimes we have these emotional attachments to, Post-it notes and silly things. And, or maybe even when you were talking before about the sock, Amber, and sometimes, you've got a sock and it's got a hole in it, but it goes with a pair. And like, you keep rewashing the same sock, or just keep on using it. And it's like, well, why don't you just throw the darn sock away, and find yourself a new sock, or just wear a different pair.
Well, because emotions run deep in us, and we don't realize how much emotions run our lives, and how much they trigger us, or they trigger our negative self-worth. They trigger our limiting beliefs. They trigger physical pain. They trigger so much within us that we don't, on a conscious level, comprehend all of that, or understand that, or even think about it. Mm-hmm. When I had my hip pain, I never thought that it would be because of all of these trapped emotions that I've kept for over 20 years. It wasn't the first thing on my mind. I just knew that this was something that I would be living with. And when it was released, it was incredibly powerful that, I could use my hip again, and there's no pain. I could, manipulate it and move it. And I hear it from my clients all the time. They come to me, they've got shoulder pain, or all sorts of aches and pains and what have you. And when we're able to release the emotions that are contributing to that, and to let them go, that's when change happens. My clients feel happier. They feel lighter. They feel less pain, less cravings, less emotional baggage. And we just keep, taking off the layers. Mm-hmm. And it's the number one thing that I hear from my clients is, I feel lighter. When I check in them, how are you doing today? I feel lighter. Well, we just took off our baggages.
It's true. Yeah, I think we get so used to carrying it around that we we're just used to it, and we don't realize how much we are carrying until it is lifted. It's almost like being in a dimly lit room where you think, well, I can still see around, and I think it's okay. And then someone turns a light on or opens a window and opens the blinds, and it's like, wow, I didn't realize I could see this good, or this well, I should say.
I didn't realize the room was, purple or something, like
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. But it's so true.
Right. And I think sometimes too, we're so used to hiding things from ourselves to say, well, that's no big deal, really. Like, oh, well, I'm fine. Really, I'm fine. And I don't know if you guys have, I'm sure you've had the experience of sitting down with a friend or sometimes even a stranger who just says, so how are you? And they'll like just really look you in the eye, and somehow or another, they really touch you emotionally, or they've asked a question that has triggered something, and you'll start crying, and you're like, oh, I don't really know why I'm crying about this. I don't want to cry. I didn't think I was going to. And that's really revealing something to you, that's an area that probably you haven't fully processed. And sometimes it's a really significant thing that has happened to you, and sometimes it could be something that was insignificant, but you just, for whatever reason, you just sort of attached an emotion here, and it's stuck with you. So it looks like Amber's working on something, so we're gonna wait for Amber to finish up with that. But I think it's just so great that we've had so many people join us today, so I really appreciate that. Carol and Sandra and Grace and Claudia. And I think also when we started out, we always like to say hello to some of Amber's favorite people, and I don't think we did.
Yes, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Hi,
Charlie.
Joshua.
Yes, and hello, Joshua. So they are some of Amber's biggest fans, and so we've always got to make sure we've got a good hello for them. So
I just cleared Jessica's chocolate addiction. I never heard back from a brand, so I'm just going to clear chocolate in general, at least take that layer off. So before today, what was the severity of my craving for chocolate? My gotta have chocolate, need it, desire it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now what is it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Breathe, right? All of those emotions. There was an inherited jealousy in there. So just get these emotions going. So definitely move around, drink lots of water today for anyone who was worked on, so that we allow these energies to flow.
That sounds good. And so, Amber, we actually ran a little bit over today, so it's going to be time for us to wrap up. But do tune in with us or send us a message. We'll contact you too. For those people that have volunteered with us today, thank you again. Hope it really works well for you. Do come and join us next week, Monday, and every Monday. We're, as Amber said, we're going to be doing some procrastination techniques. So now with this whole COVID thing, there were a lot of people that were able to tear through their house in the first week or two when we thought we were going to be shut down for only 2 weeks. And so people really took advantage of that time, and now we're lingering and lingering and lingering, and it's going on and on and on. And so now we've got time for these piles to build back up. So hopefully we can help you out with that.
I just want to quickly say hi to Melanie, who's coming in from Ireland. She made the show. So hi. But yeah, definitely tune in next week, where we are clearing procrastination around any household task that you're like, oh, and you just keep sweeping it under the rug. Let's lift that rug up, and let's work on it and get rid of the emotional attachment, so that you can move forward and enjoy your space more. Have a great week, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.